business, my business motto was customer satisfaction. And my mindset is totally different, and I'm struggling to hear this and have I watched this action take place, because if I didn't satisfy my client, I lost that client. And our leadership need to understand that the citizens are the clients. And we are there to serve the people. The government is for the people. And what we have is personal interests as opposed to people interests. Now, there was another question. There was another part of that question. I want to make sure I answer you. It was the same, the state home, what was it? It was two parts of it.
The mayor council act and what would you do to go for home rule?
Well, you know, I believe in Birmingham having control of his own destiny. Yes, I do. This is our destiny. Someone in Huntsville, someone in Mobile should not be controlling the destiny of Birmingham. You know, I'm concerned the state should be giving more to education. Yet we're ready to build prisons right away because that's become a big business. And I want Birmingham not to be at the bottom in education, but I want Birmingham to be at the top in education. Look, we're doing it. Oh, now this is two questions.
To Mr. Wood's point real quick, I'll remind the candidates and the audience that we are going to invite them to submit longer answers in a video format online at bhamdebates.org. So if you don't get to answer as much as you would like, you are welcome to submit a video, and we'll make sure that the public can see that. Mr. Hill.
Could you restate the question, please?
Yes. What are your thoughts to the recent Mayor Council Act, and what are your thoughts on the relationship between the state government and Birmingham, and would you push for greater home rule for Birmingham?
As it relates to the Mayor Council Act, we need to redraft the Mayor Council Act. We need to re-implement a balance of power and checks and balance between the mayor's office as well as the city council. Right now, we have an imbalanced budget that has been submitted to the city council, and that's from the mayor's office. Imbalanced. $428 million where he left off obvious expenses, but he submitted it to the council anyway. And I quote, "I would rather see the city burn to the ground than have the council have any power over me." I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm a leader. And I want to be held accountable to the citizens of Birmingham. We need to make sure that we have checks and balances in place. Right now, our current mayor is allowed to spend millions of dollars without the knowledge and consent of the city council. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Even though he's not a king, he's acting as a king. A dictator. He's not concerned about the citizens. He doesn't even have a plan for Birmingham going forward. What is his agenda? He states what he has done, what he's going to do. But let me see the action. Let me see you give a vision to Birmingham for the citizens to get behind that vision. That's what I need to see. As far as control and profit from the county will give their left arm to continue to profit off of Birmingham. We need to be our own entity before we talk about collaborating with anyone in this county or in this state. We need to make sure we are self-sustainable. We're independent. This is about our liberation. I'm going to be honest with you, citizens of Birmingham. This is a very important election. Very important election. If we don't get it right this time,
It's over.
so vote for Lehman Hill on August 22nd.
The moderator will extend a rebuttal of 30 seconds to Mayor Bell if he would like to rebut the statement about the city council.
I have no comment.
No problem.
All right, our next question. Our next question, I'm asking Ms. Bell, I'm asking Mr. Hill and Mayor Bell to respond to this question. The question is, what is your plan to assist Birmingham City Schools in improving updating, and giving more of our children access to a better education. We'll start with Ms. Bell.
Thank you. I wondered why I had been excluded without one question, but you chose the best one for me. Yes, with education, I plan to meet very soon after I'm elected with Dr. Herod to come up with a plan to restructure education in Birmingham. I don't want to take over like Bloomberg did in New York. I want to keep the autonomy, but I want to make sure that when we are allocating money from the city to the Board of Education, that the curriculum is going in a new direction. We must take our education system in a new direction. We have to implement culturally sensitive education for our children. When Homewood has already implemented African studies and African American cultural studies and the language of Swahili, not one time in Birmingham have the children been able to learn an African language, or are they studying about their own culture? This has a lot to do with why they're acting insane. When you don't know your own culture, and after all of these years that we place people in the Board of Education, and by the way, yes, I will certainly endorse and support citizens choosing their own board of education. I was one of the ones who advocated. I was sick and tired of Mayor Arrington choosing who was going to be on the Board of Education. And that is why I will continue to say, yes, we want our board members to come from the blue-collar sector. We want our Board of Education to have research educators and the best experts, but we want a wide variety on that board. And yes, when we get the education system working with Dr. Herod, we won't have that turnover of mismanagement. And we have a candidate running who was sitting on the board. Here we have assets with schools that are just sitting abandoned in Gate City School. The school over there, over in the Portland area.
That's your time. I'm sorry. Mr. Hill.
Education. This is very important to me. My parents have a combined 70 years in the Birmingham City school system. And it's amazing to me how some of the politicians that sit before you today are acting well enough to receive an Oscar. How can you demand transparency and everything else as you pursue mayor when you've been a part of running our school system into the ground? In 2012, these are facts, we had an illegal state intervention, and our current mayor's office had the opportunity to prevent that intervention with $1.5 million and did not. We need a mayor that's willing to show our kids, our teachers, and our school districts that they are number one. They're the priority. Right now, our youth make 25 to 30% of our population in Birmingham. But the fact is, they're 100% of our future. And we need to put all resources, all manpower, in making sure they have the resources to become competitors in a world global market. Anything else is unacceptable. Right now, we have a mayor that has a $500,000 to $1 million security detail expense. That can go to our kids in our school system. We don't have time for people looking like they're the best option on paper. We don't need people who are telling those people, the people from Mountain Brook that are profiting off our school system, that it's okay to bring charter schools into our city. Our school system is 98% black. So we don't even have an African American studies curriculum in our school district in 2017. With our children's future. Put the proper resources in place in our school system so that the future of Birmingham is ready for our kids to take over.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
It has been researched and scientifically proven that if you want to have a positive impact on a child's educational outcome, what you have to do is to make sure that that child can read at the third grade level by the time they're in the third grade. I have proposed and set aside $1 million for a pilot program to implement that into the school system. Initially, we were going to put $3 million over there. And we've got to invest in our children. And I've done that consistently over and over and over again. From coming up with the funds to build new high schools, George Washington Carver High School, and a number of other high schools throughout this city. Someone talked about the intervention of the state. Well, I met with the state superintendent after they took over, and I made a commitment that I would do everything within my power to get the state out of here by coming up with the funds necessary to build a reserve. Now, we didn't give a direct $1.5 million to the school system for that purpose, but we had them transfer property to the city of Birmingham in exchange for money to build up their reserve. That's what ended up getting the state out of here, and I'm committed to continue to do that. Now, the mayor gets blamed for a lot of things, but he does not control the school system. He can use the bully pulpit to talk about the issues, but he can't fire the superintendent. He can't fire do nothing board members. The only thing he can do is try to assist in those areas to provide the financial resources that are necessary. Thank you.
I want to use my token to speak to the people. We have 70,000 people that live in our city that live in poverty. That's a city within a city living in poverty. We have 25,000 children in the school system, and in the last 2 years, we've had 31 out of the 42 schools failing. Can you get where we're going now?
Yeah.
Because you can draw a line, a straight line, and they usually call it a pipeline, a school to prison pipeline, because our education system is not where it needs to be. We're talking about supporting the schools. Right now, we got 0.06% of our budget. This is on paper. To go to our Board of Education, our school system, come on. What I'm saying is, if we fail our children, we fail Birmingham. That 25,000 children have 2 parents. That's 50,000 other people have exited a school system that has not equipped them to take care of themselves. Our hearts should be broken. We should be outraged that we're selling our children a future of poverty, of death, of prison. Liberty brings freedom. Education, liberty, can bring them freedom. We have to invest in our school system. We can't continue to go this way and we say words that we're doing these things, and it's obvious we're not. As I said, I've got a couple of seconds left. Our hearts are broken. Our hearts should be broken, and we should be ashamed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me say this about school. First of all, if you're going to run for a government office, you need to know what the government does. Know your government role. Know what you can do as a mayor, know what you can do. Here's the problem we have in Jefferson County, period, with our schools. Almost $1 billion come to Jefferson County. But we have 14 different school systems. That's the problem with schools in our county. Too many school systems. And it's not equal. 10 students get 10,000 plus per student. Our students get 9. So this school get 8 something. Mountain Brook get 13,000 per student. It's not equal. Almost $1 billion. Most of the largest city in Alabama has gone to one school level at the county level. Mobile, Montgomery, they're all gone county level schools. We have 14 different schools, and they're all siphoned from Jefferson County, and they're siphoned from Birmingham, because there are too many school systems we are trying to afford. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to use my token again because I don't have a lot of family here, so I won't get the biggest applause. I'll give you facts. What needs to happen. My family's the facts. I remember at 6th Avenue Baptist Church before Smitherman put together that legislation that gave us a 9th district school board that mimics the council, which was crazy because it put that old nasty bug called politics deeply inside of our education system. Right. And our education system has been horribly bad since that bad decision. So what I'm proposing on paper is that we redress it again. Now, a lot of things were said about Dr. Arrington, and he confessed that he didn't do enough for education as mayor. And as we both haggled and dazzled and razzle-dazzled with the Smithermans there at 6th Avenue Baptist Church that night before Senator Smitherman gave that legislation to the legislators. And we tried for a 5-member board that ran at large. Because if they ran at large, they wouldn't have this individuality like they have at city council. My district, your district, my district. No, it ain't my district. It ain't your district. It's one child. And the education system should be about nothing but educating one child. Should see all children as one child. The best for one child, whether he lives in Inston or if he lives in. So my thing is this: to lobby hard in the mayor alluded to the bully pulpit to have a district that have boards that run at large, with the largest person becoming for the whole government. And the worst politics is that they change the president. They keep changing the president. This president here got mad with another president, this president left, another one came, and that just makes for a lot of mess. Also, I would like to get legislation done where the people can choose the superintendent recused. We get to choose our superintendent by vote. And put him in this time. Then we bring him back with recall. But anyway, I wish I had a lot of family to clap for me. Facts of family.
We're only allowing rebuttals if someone mentions you directly by name and says something about you or your platform. All right, we're going to move on to our next question. This question is going to be for Mr. Matthews, Mr. Woodfin, and Mr. Sims. The question is, what is your plan as far as building partnerships for more jobs programs for the unemployed and underemployed in the city? And we'll start with Mr. Matthews, go to Mr. Woodfin, and go to Mr. Sims.
Boy, back to that. What I imagine, I don't stand for this one. I'm not looking for applause or anything, so I'll just be direct. I'm so glad that the John F. Kennedy Appalachian Trail was finally completed in 2016. That's that quarter X that we call it. The environmental people fought it like hell. But I'm glad it's here because once again, with Huntsville moving so rapidly to become the #1 largest city, I hope and my dream is to annex the property so that we can do what we really should do and what John F. Kennedy maybe saw when he commissioned that Appalachian Trail that runs from Memphis to Atlanta. I want you to envision with me on that corridor 100 flags that represents 100 nations. I want you to envision 100 #1 restaurants from that country, 100 hotels from that country, and the best that they have to offer. And what we can sell and put Birmingham back at the point of the spear. We can generate $1 billion alone if we can build what I imagine building. See, I've been left the 21st century, the latter. I'm so into how do we provide jobs in the eons of 22nd and 23rd century. What roads and what bridges do we build there? We so caught up with me, mine, I, right now. But I'm seeing your daughter and your granddaughter and your granddaughter's granddaughters. And I think that that corridor and methane gases that we're not even utilizing to pump up budgets. I'm seeing way past a lot of the questions we're asking now. That corridor where Dr. King died to where he lived with Birmingham in the middle I think it represents the greatest hope for Birmingham job market. And that's what I envision, that's what I would develop, and that will feed into our economy where we can erase that 37% Goliath called poverty that's devastating our city. Thank you.
Mr. Williams.
So this is a real problem in our city. We haven't had any job growth. Not just the last 7 years under the current administration, but over an extended period of time. Earlier, we had to answer a question about, with one word, what's the issue in the city, and I said poverty. Well, it touches on so many things. Education, crime, and the lack of no job growth. So what's the solution? Well, when you look at the city of Birmingham, the intersection of 4 interstates, I-22, 65, 59, and 20, when you look at the rail line we have, and the possible expansion of our airport, we should be the logistics hub of the South, period. In proximity of all these cities that are near us. If you have Hyundai down 65, Honda 20, and Mercedes, it makes sense that we should also leverage and be aggressive about auto suppliers being right here in our city, in proximity of all 3 of those organizations I just named. 2, when we talk about banning the box and giving people employment opportunities, if anybody's doing business with the city of Birmingham via contracts, that should be extended. Because people have the opportunity to have a second chance to be employed. Which leads me to my third point. The city has all these facilities. I'm speaking of our recreational centers. Why can't we repurpose some of that space at a city-owned property to provide workforce training to make people employable? 4, between UAB and Southern Research, it makes no sense to me why we're not the healthcare hub of the Southeast as it relates to biotech. 5.
Mr. Whitman, it's time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. To rebuild an economy, Birmingham needs to be a city that can read. If you can't read, you can't follow instructions if you get the job. So education has to be key. We have 2,000 nearly ex-offenders coming home to Jefferson County, the Birmingham area. They don't have jobs, ban the box, right? They don't have an opportunity. Part of my plan, our plan, is that we would get those who are unemployed in our communities, those who are ex-offenders who can't find jobs, to help clean up our community. You go over in Isley and it looks like a firestorm. Abandoned houses. This is all over the city. We can actually use our labor that's unemployed, young men, to help clean up our neighborhoods, fix our roads. We can do that. Part of what I want to do also is to have a community reinvestment plan where businesses, small businesses and existing businesses can get microloans to expand and to start. We have to invest in our communities. We get a $428 million budget, and we can't even help our own citizens to employ themselves. So part of what I want to do is to rebuild our city, is to employ those who don't have employment. And this will be a work-study program where you learn how to, you work 20 hours a week, and 20 hours a week you go get your GED and you get literate. You can't be in this program unless you're going to become literate. And we need that. We need to break the school to prison pipeline. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Bell and Mr. Woods are both going to exercise their second token for this, so we'll start with ladies first.
Thank you. And I want to say, as it relates to the business partnership, I will start with the consumers. And I will start with the partnering with the consumers who spend more money than anybody else in the world. And I will partner also with the Labor Department. Because you see, this question of just $10 an hour, we have to educate our citizens, and as you said, so many in poverty here in our city, to direct their money into their own business development. It's a matter of educating our people. You go into any Piggly Wiggly, you're going to see Goya products on 3 rows. Why? Because they're not going to buy rice if they're not getting paid to package it, to label it, and to truck it in. So we've got to change the mindset. It's a new direction economically. We know who controls restaurants here in Birmingham. The Greeks are in charge. So we have to partner with ourselves and take control of our own economic base in our own communities. It's ours to do, to take charge of it. So if the Labor Department comes in, we don't just ask the Labor Department to give workers $10. We ask them to give them gainful employment that involves insurance, that involves parents having leave of absence, like that mother whose daughter was gunned down like a dog. I understand she's on a minimum wage job. Who's going to defend these single mothers in a case like that where she needs time off to be counseled after this 4-year-old was murdered like an animal on the streets? So I will partner with the consumers themselves and get educational programs to say, this is your money. This is how you turn this money into jobs for yourselves. And so that's my business plan with the consumers themselves.
All right, Mr. Wiggs and Mr. Hill is going to use his second token to buy in after this.
My education, my business experience, my degree from Auburn University is in industrial arts. I'm a certified educator by the state of Alabama to teach trade and industry. My 28 years in business as a construction manager and a general contractor, we rose to the top 100 in the United States. And what we have to understand about business and attractive industries, when the big businesses, the industries are looking to relocate, one of the key things they go by is the available workforce. A trained, educated workforce and resources of continuing education. And that's why I am so determined that every school, every child must have the opportunity to be a part of the trade and industry program. I believe that God has gifted each and every one of us with some great talents and abilities. And we owe it to our children if we love them the way we say we do. Are we just about lip service? Or are we about action? So I would be about actions, building this industrial arts program, starting in the 7th grade, going all the way through high school, not only stopping there, a certification program like they had when I was in high school. I mean, and the problem is that the industry is in trouble because the workforce is weak. I'll be honest with you, that's why the big fuss about a lot of our Hispanic brothers, they are saving the nation because of the workforce. But we have to train our children. This is a priority. It will be a priority in the Woods administration. And I tell you this, it's not about lip service. It's about action. And my entire life has been all about service-based performance, so we will get it done.
My profession as a sports marketing entertainment agent has allowed me to travel and live in other cities outside of Birmingham. I relocated here from Atlanta, Georgia. And in 2016, Atlanta, Georgia's film and TV production industry generated $7 billion. $7 billion for the city. Birmingham doesn't even have a film and TV industry here. That's new industry revenue that Birmingham and the state of Alabama can have. We can set a goal between 1.5 and $2 billion for revenue for the city with new industry, with infrastructure plans and goals. That's revenue. Birmingham is yet to have a Maynard Jackson type of mayor who's going to demand opportunity and revenue and piece of the pie for minority and women-owned businesses. That's what we need to have. Again, a mayor that's willing to fight for the citizens. This is about creating opportunity for those who normally don't get opportunity. We need to have new industry. We need to be responsible with the revenues that we already have. We don't need to be taking $100,000 to renovate the suite at that Legion Field for the mayor. We need to put some seats in that stadium rather than have the bleachers that are still there since Bear Bryant was playing coaching. We need proper allocation of resources so we can grow and invite new businesses, new corporations to the industry, to the city. That's what we need. Number two, a multi-purpose dome stadium. Earlier, our mayor mentioned Regent Field, but it was the Magic City Diamond Classic that brought to the attention of the city council the $8.2 million that was in debt that the citizens had to pay for. $68 million went into Regent's Field. Public funding. Public funding. But do we see the revenue and profit from that? No. But we have the resources to build a multi-purpose stadium here. That means that the city can employ its citizens, not have the Logans put their employees in the stadium.
All right, our next question is going to be from Mr. Davis, Mayor Bell, and Mr. Hill. How will you develop relationships between Birmingham Police Department and the community it serves?
Well, having that law enforcement experience for over 22 years when I was training, it was all about getting to know your community and boots on the ground, knowing the people. And my training officer used to take me, and he used to ask me, "What, you hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What you want to eat?" He said, "Buddy, yeah, I think we're going to go eat some meatloaf today." So I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" I think we're going to a restaurant. So we went right over to an individual's house in Ennis. Nice lady named Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams told us everything that went on in the neighborhood. And I ate, as you can see. But that's the type of policing that we need to have. I would like our officers to just talk to 10 people a day. We have to build a rapport in the neighborhood. Our relationship has to get better. I've gotten pulled over. But we're not going to go into that. But if you talk to 10 people a day, 30 days in a month, that's 300. 300 times 12, that's 3,600 a year. So therefore, the relations will get better. And instead of some people just driving by on a Bluetooth or on the phone or whatever the case may be, you're going to stop. And then this person over here say, "Hey, Officer Davis, whatever, blah, 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 blah." There's somebody going in that house like every day at 2 o'clock at night, you're going to smell something funny. That, especially having these type of situations right here, these type of community meetings, this will entail bring everybody together. Also, mental health. Officers need to be in the community, and because I think we had a situation of a shooting not too long ago, and I think the guy was coming. Therefore, if you are in the community, if that's the way John or Rick acts, and you're out at car, you're meeting people every day. You know that if that individual's coming out of the house and he flails his hands or whatever the case may be, you can relate, or if you hear that goes out on the wire, you can relate to your partners or whatever. Hey, that's where you're going.
That's your time, Mr. Davis. Thank you, sir. Mayor Bell.
In 2015, Birmingham, along with 5 other cities, were named by President Obama to form what's called the National Initiative on Building Trust and Confidence in the Community. We were selected because we have model programs of building in sensitivities into our police officers. Each police officer has to go to our Civil Rights Institute. They have to understand the stigma that exists among our police department because it was used as a tool of racial suppression. And because of that history, we try to go beyond the ordinary to make sure that our officers understand that they are to serve and protect. And by serving, that means to get out and know the people in the community. We work each and every day to make sure that our officers have all the tools that's necessary to make our streets safe. And those tools don't just include a sidearm or handcuffs, but they include using your brain, using your knowledge and skills of understanding your community and lifting your community up. On YouTube and other social media, you see police officers helping people in the community. We have prayer walks into the community in which our police chief, along with other police officers, are walking through the community. The mayor walks through the community to show the police officers that I'm willing to get out there with them. That's how you build trust among the citizens and the police officer. Now, I get attacked all the time about, well, the mayor ain't doing this and the mayor ain't doing that. I get calls from some of our senior citizens who say, I'm tired of hearing the gunshots at night, Mr. Mayor, what you gonna do about it? We send the police in, we arrest people who have illegal weapons, and then I have individuals show up at city council saying the mayor and the police department running over our citizens. We can't have it both ways. Either we want safe communities, or we're gonna work together to get, or we're just gonna let the streets run themselves. And I'm not gonna allow that on my watch. Now, if you want someone else to do that, get someone else. But I'm gonna work to bring people together and to make our community safe.
Mr. Hill first.
Okay.
First of all, we need to start creating community policing programs. Yes. We already have, and the numbers are all over the place, but we have a shortage. We have a shortage of between 100 and 300 policemen. So to negate that gap or minimize that gap, a partnership in community policing that hires community or citizens to work in partnership with the police department will create a better situation. Will relieve some of that stress and that animosity between the citizens, the community, and the police department. We also, and I'll be willing to work with the city council and other important parties to make sure that we have some type of guideline or mandate that our police chief lives in the city and all other department heads. You need to be vested in this city 100%. If the citizens are invested, all department heads, including the police chief, need to live in the city. We also need to make sure that there are incentives and resources that make it attractive for policemen to work in Birmingham Police Department. The morale is low, not just with the police, but with the firemen and the city employees, public works. They're under-resourced, they're underfunded, and you're paying them some kind of straight, what is it called, straight overtime. What is that? These are the people that are on the front lines protecting and serving. The least we can do is show that we appreciate them by having some type of pension reform, adequate pay, and making sure they have the resources to protect and serve. I think these programs are a solution to making it better and more attractive and making that relationship between the citizens and the police more productive.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. We're going to have Mr. Sims and then Mr. Woodfin, but I'm going to take a moment of privilege. And I'm going to say, you know, we have to thank our officer that's here tonight, Officer Jackson. Please take the time to make sure that you see our officers that you thank them for serving every day.
Thank you for your service. I'm a military vet. I was a combat medic with the infantry, with the Marines. I've served my country. When we talk about safety in our city or police in our city, one thing we have to remind ourselves of is, you know, I know the mayor said about 2015, the Obama thing, this and that, but in 2015, we were the 5th most dangerous city in the country. 2017, we're the 3rd most dangerous city in the country. And we've taken away the police officers' longevity pay, taken away their uniform allowance. So if we're going to support them, we need to do it in a good way. Give them good equipment and cars to sit in. But what we have to realize is that if we're going to be a city that's nonviolent, the violence has to stop at City Hall first. How can you get down at City Hall and talk to a guy that's getting down in Gate City? They can't hear that. I can't hear it. So what I'm saying is we have to create a culture of respect and compassion in this city. We have to create a culture of loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Can we do that? I think we can. I think we need a mayor that's from Kingston and not afraid to walk in Gate City. Not afraid to walk in Ensley on Avenue I at 12 o'clock at night without a security detail. I don't need that to walk in my city. You can't be the third most dangerous city in the country and receive a Crime Stoppers award. Come on. You can't do it. So we have to come together and make our city safe. And we can do it by voting me for mayor.
I'm going to see what I can add to what Brother Sim said because he's spot on, y'all. His brother's spot on. Now, think about that for a second. Every day I'm out here talking to residents on their porch in their front yard. They're telling us, they're telling me, they're telling my team members and volunteers, I don't feel safe. Yet we got a mayor with $1 million security detail, y'all, permanent. That's a problem. That is a problem. So here's the deal. You don't get community policing if you don't have enough police officers on the street. It doesn't work. Right now in the city of Birmingham, what we have is our recruiting classes are too small. Our officers between their first and 5 years are leaving to other cities that have less crime, higher pay. And our officers who reach the 20th year mark, eligible for retirement, are leaving. That means we're not doing something to invest in and take care of them. We can do better because they deserve better. We have to put more money in regards to our recruiting budget and be aggressive about making people want to be police officers here. But two, community policing boils down to two things: relationships and trust. And right now, too many young black boys do not trust the police. That's a fact. And here's what I say. My mom and stepmom are retired teachers, and they will tell you, the first time a teacher interacts with a parent shouldn't be when the child is in trouble. It's no different with our police. If we have real community policing and beat officers understand relationship building on their beat, then the first time they interact with people on their beat won't be when a young person is in trouble. That's a mayor's job, y'all. We can do better. Thank you.
Would you like 30 seconds to rebuttal?
Well, the mayor put his hand this way, said someone come to City Hall and complain about his police.
You got 30 seconds, Mr. Matthews.
Number one, I wanted to say this. I come to City Hall and complain when a police officer that was black was pepper sprayed by a police officer that was white, was called N-words, and his life was threatened. And for a year, they hid that. 2 police officers shot a black man on his knees in East Lake, got a medal for it. I came to City Hall and complained, and the medal was rescinded. That was right to do. Just like in 2 seconds when a black woman was body slammed.
That's 30 seconds.
In Homewood, Frank Matthews went over there and stood up against it. And Frank Matthews, God's gangster,
Mr. Matthews,
has walked these streets before anybody started talking about they was walking the deal with
Mr. Matthews.
streets. Thank you very much again.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded with all of our, with the exception of Mr. Bell, everyone has used their tokens. We're going to move now towards the end of our discussion. We're going to ask all of you, and you're going to take 1 minute each, to talk about how you would work to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham. And we'll go down the line this direction, starting with you, Mr. Davis.
That's it, primarily, it's about being safe. I think I'll use one token. continuing on.
The time's running, man.
One of the things I want to implement is an intricate camera system. They have in Atlanta, they have in Colorado, they have them everywhere. And we've had murders where we found bodies in cars. Right. Surveillance is big. We're about to get the World Games. And it's about to be a disaster. Because we're not ready. And if anybody that thinks we're ready, we're not. You got streets that works like this. You got streets like Roebuck Parkway or just 3rd Avenue West. If something happens to your vehicle or someone takes your vehicle or it's a driver and shoots something like that, that vehicle is not going to stay in that neighborhood. He's going to get out on the main road. This will create between 50 and 100 jobs. That car or that person has to get on that main road and they'll get picked up. We've had cars come from across this city, dropped off in Ensley. We've had fires in Ensley. We've had a great group of gentlemen out there just trying to do the best they can with the community, and I commend y'all for that. But we need something other than place. We need to have eyes everywhere we can, and we can do it.
Mr. Davis, that's time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Hill, what would you do to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
As I've been campaigning across the city of Birmingham, going door to door, attending neighborhood association meetings, I've had the opportunity to interact with a vast number of our citizens in Birmingham. That communication needs to continue once I become mayor. We need to make sure that we're not just checking off neighborhood associations one time just so we can become mayor. We need to maintain that line of communication. That's how we know as city leaders where we need to put our resources, by constant communication and effective communication with the citizens. We are in an age of digital media. So those are platforms that the mayor office can have with the citizens directly, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook. That's how you keep the dialogue going. That's how we know how to put a certain number of dollars in schools, in paving our roads annually, and alleys. You can't forget the alleys. Make sure that we have proper communication so that we can allocate the proper resources and finances to fulfill the needs in the city. We also need to make sure we have orderly town hall meetings. Again, those 3 items can maintain communication between the mayor's office and the citizens.
I live off Avenue Ave. I'm trying to find out where's all that crime. The best way to fight crime in your neighborhood, and this is how we fight it in Bellevue Heights and Ensley, we call the police. That's how you control crime in your neighborhood. Call the police. And we call them so much, we have a great relationship with Birmingham Police Department in the Bellevue Heights, Ensley area, because they'll tell you we will call the popo. Okay? That's how you stop crime. Do not be afraid to call the police. When I become your mayor, we're going to get these guns off these other streets. And we're going to do it legally, and you continue to serve with your Second Amendment, keep your guns. But we're going to get those guns off the street. Thanks.
Mayor Bell, how would you improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
As your mayor and the city government, we have implemented what we call Open Door. Open Door is a link on our website that has an open portal that any citizen can go onto that website, link into our finance department, our planning and engineering department, our public works department, and find out any information that they want to find. How much money is being spent, all of that information. Yes. That has been implemented. Yes. We also participate in Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app, that neighborhoods can implement that Nextdoor app and communicate with each other when problems exist in the community. You can also take a picture of a pothole, download that picture onto the link that's connected with our website, and it goes directly to either Public Works or Planning and Engineering. And then we respond right back to you as to when that situation will be taken care of.
Brother Jones, what will you do to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
First of all, to improve communication with the citizens, I would stay in town. Right. I'm not going to travel all over the world, all over everywhere. I'm going to be in town. And my phone number is on this flyer. This is not New York City. You need a mayor you can call. If it's not done at City Hall, give me a call. We'll work on it. Now, it may be 500 of you calling, but guess what? Brother Sims, as mayor, is going to be back in touch with you. Or you can come to my house and sit down and eat with me. Part of what I want to do, too, is to have monthly town hall meetings where you can come and talk to your mayor, put your hands on it. I'm not going to have a security detail around me. I want to be a mayor that you can touch. I want to be a mayor that you can say, hey, bro, I need your help. We're a community, and that's what we need. So vote for Brother Sims. You can call him on the phone.
Ms. Bell, what would you do to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
One of the first things I would do for the citizens of Birmingham is give them respect. And you respect the citizens by making sure on the city council meetings that you can pull it up and see what's happening and not have all of these technical problems on finding out what's happening in city government and changing the technology that is used for the citizens. And the next thing I would do to respect the citizens, and especially the children, I would never invite the president, the first African-American president of the United States, and the masses of our children couldn't even see his motorcade. I would respect the children enough to say, your children, citizens, are equal to mine. They have a right to see history in living color, and I would respect them enough to do that. And certainly, in having a communication and respect for the people, I will also create 1,000 volunteers for the law enforcement to help support the law enforcement.
Mr. Woodfin, what would you do to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
If anybody in this room right now files an open records request for anything from this current administration, you will have to probably sue to get that information. That is a problem. We have to be more transparent because what I accept, it is taxpayers' dollars, it's not my money. The number one thing citizens want when I listen to them is a mayor that responds to them. They may not get the answer they want, but whether it's by text, email, in person, respond. You have to be responsive to people because I represent you. So respond is one. Two, be overly transparent with your tax dollars. There's nothing else.
One of the greater things citizens complain about is the neighborhoods, grass, street pavements, and all that goes into that. First of all, you don't need to improve that communication with the citizen. You need to fire every employee that rides by and see garbage, see weeds. My administration will be so clean because I will hold accountability some almost 500 employees, and citizens got to complain about things that not be done. No, my problem will be with staff, not communicating and getting it done. That's what a mayor needs to do. Have his employees get things done. And then the citizens won't have to come to City Hall and try to communicate and have a town hall. I'm leading town hall meeting with the citizens when I'm here because my employees would do the damn jobs. Or get fired. That would be simple. That ain't English. That's cussing. His own language. But that's how it would be. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a mayor that communicates with his employees. And like the brother said, you can't communicate with them if it's not here. They're going to do their job. That's why I'm advocating giving them a 15% raise. Give them a lot of money and pay them how they're accountable. That's how I'm doing it.
Mr. Williams, what would you do to improve communication with the citizens of Birmingham?
You know, every decision that I make as mayor, well, I would provide an explanation to the people. My client, customer mindset, I see you as my client, and I must treat you as a client. I want to earn your trust, and I want to earn your respect. So, number one, I would not be a mayor that keeps you in the dark. Every deal we do will be done on the table, not under the table. And it will be open in the light and not in a back room deal. So we will be open and transparent. My level process of communication will assure that the public trust is being restored, and this will be a part of my transparency. I walk 99 neighborhoods. I've been in their neighborhood meetings, and the resounding, recurring concern, they ask me, why has the mayor not provided us an explanation as to why our water bills, these astronomical water bills, are what they are? Why did he go to Montgomery and fight against the city council and fight against the citizens of this city to give the water board authority away? I won't be like that. I will be in the open, and every decision that I make will be made in the best interest of the people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a couple of audience questions. My co-moderator, Marie, will do this. We will take one question probably from each side. You may address one candidate with your question. They will have, Marie, did we say 1 or 2 minutes for this? 2 minutes to do that. So it will go to one individual that you can ask a question to.
And out of their respect, this young man raised his hand very quick first, so I'm gonna let this young man from this side go, and on this side, yes ma'am.